I like it. I want to see what you got.
Yeah, it's not exactly what I was looking for, but nothing I do is exactly what I'm looking
No, that's
for.
part of the fun.
Okay, man. We got, let's make sure, live green room music with vocals. Here it comes.
Little fraction
94.
cut off.
It's probably not clean.
I wore a collared shirt for this one.
Yeah, you are all spiffed. I like
You
it.
should see
dude.
my pants.
Can I get some more ice? If you're
They look like. Yeah, let me see.
the band, you can't get in.
All right. Oh, those are sweats. Okay, I thought you were gonna
have,
show me
like-
some khakis and some big.
No, dude.
What are those wide lace shoes?
Cavariccis?
DCs. No,
Oh.
the shoes.
I wish.
DCs, the skater ones.
Take it back to the early 2000s.
Yeah, what are those called? The big wide ones? DCs. Yeah, dude.
Those are
Come
classics.
on.
Episode 94. Yes, today's a special day. We do have a guest that's going to pop in.
Yeah, the Cipester.
Unless he decides he doesn't want to.
Yeah, there's a yawning login like right when we gave up at an hour
Yeah.
from now.
We're going to get a text in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This is actually the first time I've ever done a planned invite to you guys. That works.
Yeah,
That's way,
you know
that's-
what? It looked different. The email that I will get an email that's usually, I think, directly from Jeff that's got a link for the meeting for the episode. And this time it comes from the client, the Riverside that we run these through. So, yeah, but that's happened a couple times before. Like when you did it from out of town. I think when you're in Hawaii, it came that way too.
Oh, really?
I don't
Oh,
know
I was
why.
I was practicing.
Practicing. Okay.
No, this is actually much better because then it I can send this to you guys. This is so interesting. a podcast about how I'm doing a podcast.
Right. It's so meta, bro. You're so meta.
Sorry. Anyways, we'll see if that keeps going. So, onward and upward. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I watched it mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
We watched it just to piss off Trump. But
Yeah, right.
you know, but I watched we actually watched it for the halftime show too.
Right.
And then we watched like probably about halfway through the third quarter, I think we turned it off.
Yeah.
Cuz we
The
had
game
seen
itself,
everything.
I will consider myself a pretty big football fan.
Yeah.
I already talked about this. I thought the season was just done 4 weeks ago. It just
Because no teams you cared about were still in it or what?
And yes, because no teams I cared about, and the reason I don't care about it, because I'm not just my team, because my team always loses anyways. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
So they always lose anyways. So I'm not expecting them to win, but there's always other exciting teams.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you feel this too as a basketball fan. Like there's
Right.
some teams that are just boring.
Yeah.
And the two teams that went to the Super Bowl, in my opinion, were super boring. And it turns out I was right because that was the most
Yeah.
boring.
Well, they
Super Bowl
say
game
when it's a game
ever seen.
of defense, it's going to be kind of boring. You just don't get a lot of
dude.
scoring. But I kind of like
Boring, no scoring.
Yeah, boring, no scoring. I kind of like strong defenses. I was a little bit more into this is blasphemy for Niner fans because, listener, if you're listening from Turkey, like most of our listening base, you don't know that we're near the Bay Area. We're in the Bay Area, and basically nowadays that means you're a Niners fan for the most part.
Yes.
Even though I grew up a Raiders fan, they're now in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's off topic. It's getting to be more and more sure that the NBA will add two teams, one from Vegas, one from Seattle. And now, especially since Seattle won the Super Bowl, it's going to be more draw for Seattle. There used to be a Seattle team, the Supersonics, years ago. So I'm kind of into it.
What a name.
Yeah.
Who comes up with these names?
I know. Some are
Supersonics?
great and some are not, you know. It's funny because it used to be the New Orleans Jazz. I think
Dude,
if I have this right,
well, now it's
they're
Utah
the Utah Jazz, where they don't even like music in the whole state. No, I don't know.
There's no jazz. There's
Yeah.
no jazz in
It's
Utah.
really not a jazz town. So we got to, of course, connect on it. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but what did you think of the halftime show?
I'm going to get to that in about 5 seconds.
Okay.
I just want to continue on why I thought the game was boring. Because this is where this is my venting time.
Yeah. Come on. Do it.
And what I was missing, I agree. I understand playing fundamental football is what that both teams were doing.
Right.
They're playing defense. I really think the MVP of the Super Bowl was the coach. I think the coach should have got the MVP because he was also
did that.
He was the defensive coordinator and the head coach, which is nobody ever does that. Usually you delegate that.
Yeah.
And he was the number one defense and the head coach. So he's probably like who's
What's up,
a dumbass
dudes?
now. Yeah. So it was amazing. What I was missing was the personalities of players, whether you hate them or love them. When you got Mahomes out there doing his
liked the
dances.
little like 10-year-old quarterback getting sacked 400 times though. That was kind of fun. I felt bad.
There was me too, and they were just so timid. Both of the quarterbacks, I felt like were playing it so safe. There was no flair. There was no like, I'm going for it. Like if it was the Niners, McCaffrey would have been running through every. So that's what I was missing. But
I see.
That's debatable. So
some fire. You're missing some fire.
I'm missing some fire. That's why I like the Cowboys, man. They'll lose, but they'll lose spectacularly.
Yeah,
you know.
I think you could say the same for the Raiders. There's character whether you like them or not.
Exactly. So, that's what, I like a little pizzazz in my pasta. So the halftime show, this whole Super Bowl experience was exactly what I thought it was going to be, honestly, because I am a big Bad Bunny fan. I listen to Bad Bunny. My kids love Bad Bunny, and they don't speak Spanish, but it's just he's got cool tunes with cool sounds, and they like my kids will be like Tito me pregunto, like they'll be like singing it.
I like speaking Spanish just because of him already.
Dude, I'm serious. They are. And so I was looking forward to it.
Cállate la boca, Dad.
Yeah. pretty much. So, but the first thing when I heard that Bad Bunny was going to do the halftime show, I was like, well, he's amazing and he is the biggest star in the world. He doesn't have any US crossover songs though. No English. He hardly speaks English. So, I don't care, but it's going to be a full Latin show, right? No English, which is totally fine. But I thought that was spectacular. Like it was like
ballsy.
Wow. Like
really world changing, I thought. And that, because of that alone.
And another interesting point, there was a lot going on in this halftime show.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was amazing. And he was obviously portraying himself to the world, but I think he could have had a little more regard for the people that spent $7,000 in the stands, because if
how would you do that?
Maybe have a stage.
Okay, so they couldn't see him, probably. You're saying?
I saw, because as I was doing it, I was like, dude, he's all in the grass. The people in the stands
among the country.
They can't, but in the stands, because I was like, I wonder what this looks like. So I started looking up like what it looked like. All it looked like were trees. You couldn't.
Did you happen to see that there are people inside those trees?
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I really went deep on this halftime show, which I'm sure a lot of people did. So there was a little bit of upset fans of Bad Bunny's, because he invited fans to be part of the show.
Yes.
Which is cool, but there was a requirement. You had to be between 5'7" and 6 feet tall to be part of it. And people were like, what the hell? That's not cool. Like,
I thought that was just to be a tree.
That was to be a tree.
Yeah.
That's why they had the height requirement, because they were going to be a tree.
Yeah. I see.
But so anyways, I think because if you think about Super Bowl shows, you got Michael Jackson doing the stance, like on the stage. It's like big stage to where if you're like, let's pay $7,000 a seat to go see this show, you would at least look down and say, there's Michael Jackson on the stage. This one, as rad as it was, if you paid $7,000 for a seat, you would look down and not see anything. There was nothing. You couldn't see
anything. Did you see
anything.
any footage from someone's view from the stands?
Yeah,
you did.
I did.
Didn't see that.
I did,
Yeah,
and it just looked like it looked like you were looking into a marsh.
Right. I think that's part of his message, is like being of the people and not being kind of idolized or above others. Like, we're all together in this. So maybe that was one casualty of that, was you don't get to see him.
My guess would be that was his biggest message, and he was thinking global. But I honestly think there was a little bit of oversight. This is honestly what I think. I think there was a little oversight on the people in the stands. Because I mean, you also have to think Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I really don't think he quite understood what a Super Bowl, the whole thing. He was just thinking he was taking it to the next level, which is what he should do. Yeah. But anybody that's kind of like really knows the Super Bowl is like, well, it's got to be kind of a stage. Think of Lady Gaga, think of Katy Perry, think of Prince, think of there's always a stage where you're at least playing to the crowd a little bit. Yeah. And then it's also the multi-millions of people. But he was just kind of like, no, I'm doing like a movie right now.
Yeah, dude, that would never enter my mind either, to be honest, the crowd that are there. But that's an interesting take. So I ended up, because it was so different than other halftime shows, I ended up really getting more out of it in thinking about it in the couple days after. Because us being musicians, and I wonder if any of you listeners who are musicians or anybody kind of bear with me if I share some of my thoughts, because some of them are going to sound like hating, even though I'm not. But I tend to look at things sometimes all like jazz guy, where like I want to be impressed by something. Right. And so it wasn't about that.
Because you're a big jazz guy.
I mean, but you know what I mean? Just in terms of looking at something technically, I am a show guy, number one.
This was different. This was like we were showing up and we were going, because another thing that's just really interesting is we were coming at this, it was like, we don't really know the songs, to be honest. Like, I know them, but I don't speak Spanish, so I don't even know really what he's singing about. Yeah. So it wasn't like, ooh, is he going to do this song? How is he going to play this song? Right. It was more just, it was straight up like, what's he going to do? Right.
Right. So, but that's what makes it groundbreaking, is that it was totally not about any of that, like the technical prowess of any playing or singing. And and all I'm saying is it took me a minute to get over that, only because of my preconceived, thing. Like, my favorite show, of course, was Prince. So it's really kind of polar opposite from that kind of show where he's just like wailing and he's. Yes. I mean, one reason you may not have Bunny as a central figure on a stage, he's really
Mr.
not
Bunny, Senior
Bun, the B, Big B. He's not doing anything. He's not doing much in terms of like physical performance or singing with a bunch of whatever impressive range or any of that shit. And that's totally cool, because it was all about the vibe and the unity piece. So again, it just took me some time to get used to that and just understand that that's what was happening. I will say I had a renewed, complete, juicy crush on Ricky.
Ricky Martin. Let's go. So like,
come on.
This is amazing. So a funny little thing on that is, because if anybody that wasn't watching the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny's playing, and he's gonna have a guest, so it's kind of like, well, who's it gonna be? I was kind of like, maybe he's gonna have like Karol G or whatever. But it zooms in on this guitar, and the guitar's playing this beautiful line, and I recognize
which sounded pre-recorded.
It for sure 100% was, but It's a guitar called a quattro. That's the name of that kind of guitar. And as soon as I saw that guitar, I was like, dude, that looks like a quattro. The only person I know that has songs with a quattro is Ricky Martin. And I know that because I toured with Ricky Martin, and I talked to the other guitar players that had to learn how to play that guitar.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's like a quattro. And then there's Ricky Martin. And I was like, oh, sick. And then the second thing I thought of, I was like, what if Enrique Iglesias shows up next to him with a whole different band?
That would be rough. Can you imagine?
I would honestly just
a featured
laugh.
guy that looks kind of like you.
I would just laugh so hard.
Oh
dude.
my God.
But Ricky is freaking top notch, and he always comes through. And I love that he stays relevant, you know? Like,
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of it is how great he looked, and come on, we got to give it to him because he sure as hell did. But
he's all jacked. He's big.
But he also gave that fire we're talking about in his singing and performance. You felt it.
Yeah.
That's what makes him. People liked him from the beginning. He has something really special in his spirit.
Yes.
And I felt it, and I was happy for him too. And
Dude,
he's
cool. He's cool. I've been lucky enough to be around him a lot when we do those US tours.
Yeah.
And he is a cool dude. He will hang out in catering and kick it. He will come out, sound check. He will sing his balls off.
Yeah.
The whole sound check.
Yeah.
All the moves. Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
And then when it's showtime, he just brings it, dude. Yeah. Every night he brings it. Great performer. And he just seems like a real positive spirit.
Yeah.
And he looks great. I mean, he looks like he's aging in reverse, you know. It's like and he's got great songs. He's one that has so many songs that are in Spanish that they're so catchy that you'll just be singing them. You're like, I don't even know what I'm singing,
so
but
good.
This is so good, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot more than living La Vida Loca with
course.
him. So
yeah.
People don't know that, I think.
No, I hear you. No, he's a legend. And I'm glad they had him. I thought they might have Luis Miguel, who I would have loved to have seen him. He's also like an extreme Mac with a million great songs, and he's a total heartthrob, great performer.
He opened for us at a private show like this last year. Dude, get out of town. Like he's like, that's like some real Latin music too.
I have chills, dude. That guy's the real deal. He's like
real deal.
He's kind of a god in that community, and he's a legend because he's been doing it so long. But I am not hating on it when I say this, but I didn't understand the Lady Gaga inclusion. I know
we were saying that too.
Yeah, and she's kind of. I mean, Noelle is very sensitive to what she's calling like appropriation, and I don't care. To me, people should be able to mostly do if it's a celebratory feeling, do whatever, you know. And so her dancing was kind of under a little bit of scrutiny with that. But anyway, I thought she sounded flawless, dude. Flawless.
Yeah.
Which was really impressive.
Yeah, but I was kind of the same. I was kind of like, there's nothing more Latin than Lady Gaga singing a Bruno Mars song.
Yeah. Like, and then where was Bruno? I wanted to see Bruno. But that arrangement of that ballad as a Latin kind of I don't know what kind of rhythm that was, but that was brilliant. I thought that was worked so well. And she looked great, and that was cool. Okay, so here's going a little bit deeper. I have been listening to Bad Bunny a bit more recently before the halftime, kind of in prep for it, and just to get to know
you were
him
kind of
more.
getting prep.
Yeah, a little, and you know, I had been curious. I looked him up. I think he might have been on Saturday Night Live or something. So I was already kind of.
He's a funny guy. He's funny.
Yeah, he's interesting. So, I thought that his order of songs was interesting because I'm not as familiar. The first like two or so that he did were kind of atonal, and I get it. That's a cool style that he's doing. But I thought it was, personally, who in the fuck am I to say? But I thought it was a poor song order. I think you should start with something super melodic that's kind of gonna catch, and then instead it was kind of more like a statement of, I don't know.
I think that
you know what I'm saying?
that I do know what you're saying. The song he opened with is the one I've mentioned a couple times, that TT Me Pregunto. That's like his biggest song right now.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, because there were polls online that were saying, is he going to open with TT Me Pregunto or Monaco, which is another. He has a lot of songs that he names after cities, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite ones to check out is Nueva York, which is New York. It's freaking killer. So I think TT Me Pregunto, the one he opened with, is kind of like his big. It's big right now.
Okay.
But the thing that I like about his tunes is he'll take like a traditional Latin sound, like and it's like, oh, this is like salsa, and then it'll go into like this super modern like
breakbeat
vibe, and he does his thing that is kind of atonal, which honestly I think it took people many years to catch on to what he was doing. And we're gonna talk with our good buddy that's gonna come on, and I would love to hear his take, because Bad Bunny did a song with Enrique way back in the day. It's a song called El Baño. Killer song. I don't know if it was ever a big hit, but Eddie had a certain opinion about Bad Bunny.
Will will Eddie be, let's predict, is Eddie going to be totally open, even if it's controversial, about his opinions? Or will he be a bit politically correct?
We've never seen him in this environment.
Yeah, right. Because we've had our all night talks with him in the back room.
If there's one thing I know about Eddie, is he pulls zero punches.
Okay,
but we're getting him out on our huge platform.
Show,
this is basically the Super Bowl.
I mean, this is the Super Bowl of podcasts.
So
everyone would say that.
How it goes down. We're gonna give him those hot questions.
I got some for him. They're not particularly hot, but I'm curious.
But so overall, I thought it was killer. I think Bad Bunny's super interesting. I thought he was great. Like when he says something, he really like condenses things down, because he doesn't speak very much English.
Sure.
But I really appreciated his little speech at the Grammys too, it's just real. He seems very real to me.
Yeah. And what you get with that is less, which is, I think, totally where our culture is going anyway, and it's probably, I'm sure that it's very, very good and positive, but you get less like superstar energy. Like watching him perform, listening to it. Imagine if it was on a big stage, you might kind of feel like, well, there's nothing happening.
Nothing different, right?
Well, he just is not like dancing his ass off or throwing down.
Yeah, and he's an actor too, so like that's kind of like, he's all about, you could tell, visual on the screen. He was in what was he in that he was so good in? I
haven't seen it. I've been hearing about it though.
He's a good actor. Like I know his live shows, like he'll like come out like on a jet ski, like riding through the crowd.
That's cool. See, I want to fully say that I'm just learning, seeing him and I didn't know a lot about him, but reading people's, especially Hispanic and Latin people's, like what that meant to them, all the little imagery that he showed, like an all night Latin party with the kids falling asleep and the music super loud around, which we can relate to just being musicians, but like that stuff, the people getting married on the show for real that were started as fans, and all the little like food stands that people have to open to survive, and it's so much a part of the culture. Just all those things and things he said that were so inclusive and naming every country in South America and all that stuff was making people cry. And of course, that's so much more important to me than a guitar solo. So yeah, man, I'm
very
totally
timely
with it. Mm-hmm.
And you know what's interesting, which is a beautiful thing. Every year, and we've talked about this on this podcast because we've been doing this for 35 years. Every year after the Super Bowl, let's just start the hate. Let's start the hate on that Super Bowl. This year, it ain't happening.
No.
And if it is, you get put in your basically your racist compartment if you're and so nobody's doing it, and I love it. I do
too, but it feels a little bandwagony. You know,
it's
people you haven't heard from, right? People you haven't heard from in forever are posting. They're like, "Bad Bunny killed." I'm like, "Which song did you like best?" They're like, "The tree one." You know, like.
I mean, it is very like best Super Bowl I've ever seen. It's like, did you watch it? Well, no, but I know about it.
But Bad Buns was there. Who is he again? Sorry,
there's a really good. There's this guy, I started seeing his reels on Instagram. He's a Korean dude. He's a comedian, I guess. And he's got one where he goes, and he's very monotone the way he talks. He's the one that had we've done all the music, let's focus on farming. Have you seen that one?
No.
That was amazing. So, but his new one that he did for the Super Bowl was like, he's like, everyone's all upset because they don't understand what Bad Bunny was saying during the Super Bowl. He's like, but I don't understand what anybody's saying in any song. He's like, Sabrina Carpenter, I have no clue. And then he's like, my W-2, I don't know what that means. I just write things in and I lose money. Perfect. And he goes, we don't understand what anything means. So why does it matter that we don't understand what he means?
It's not like people understood every lyric Kendrick Lamar said or any of that.
No.
It's totally true. That didn't
his music one is very good too, where he's like, we've made all the music. He's like, we've done all the genres. We need to start focusing on farming.
Is this a podcaster? Awesome. What is this? Who is
this? He's a comedian just on Instagram, and he does reels that have they came across my desk, and
right on.
And no, it's oh my god, my god,
early.
What's going on?
Is this AI right?
It does
look
AI.
at your lighting. Look at your lighting, bro. That's
what's going on,
amazing.
people?
Hey, hold on. I got
this
something
is my house. Answer, please.
Very nice.
He is my neighbor. Nur Sultan Tuliakbay.
Great success.
In my assholes. I get a window from a glass.
Is that you playing that?
Get a window from a glass. I get
oh my gosh, look at that. He's got the sound effects and stuff.
I get the clock radio. You cannot afford.
I got the clock radio.
Success.
That's for
great
you.
Success.
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Brentwood, California, literally 5 minutes from my house, Eddie Caipo. Eddie Caipo, everyone.
What's up, people?
Is here.
Very best.
Caipo.
Everybody.
Yes. Okay, Eddie, what's up, my dog? How you doing?
You know, I would only wake up this early for you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, appreciate it. It only took 1 month of planning, and I think he had to sleep in that whole month.
Yeah, yes. I was prepping, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude. You look bushy-tailed and fresh and great, dude.
Yeah.
I had to take a cold shower so I don't look like I just got out of a boxing match. Because I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looks good.
Eddie's losing so much money by being here right now.
Yeah. He's got a hard out.
I'm working, so I'm
minutes.
making money as we do this.
Good, I see it behind you. Yeah, what do you got back there? Good to see you, bro.
Just working.
So
good to see you guys.
Yeah,
you, man. Thank
I
you
mean,
for
you're
doing
really. We've had one other guest, James Durbin.
Oh, nice.
And so you're really you're the first guest that's coming in. So how's it feel? Is it nerve wracking or?
It's always nerve wracking going into some kind of podcast or live or whatever. It's it's something we always talk about where we don't get nervous at all to go play or perform in front of 80,000 people, but going into a podcast or doing some kind of live stream, you're like freaking out.
It's more personal. You're under the spotlight.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather be in front of like 300 people than 5. being in front of like 5 people and having to say anything is so nerve-wracking.
Look at my boogers. Yeah.
Look at my nose hairs.
So, sorry, Bray. Oh, Bray's got something. I could see.
Yeah,
him.
well, no, I just want to do my nerdy little intro thing. It's just to say, I want the listener to understand what Eddie does and how special he is at it. So, he does more than one thing. My first impression of you was doing house sound when my first gig with Tainted Love. Okay. And this was at Crystal Bay Casino.
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby.
Okay. That's a pretty good sized show,
Yeah.
It's maybe 700 or so. And you ruined my life.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, you ruined my life because I thought, oh, this is how it's going to be now. This is how sound is. This is how people do sound.
What happens, right?
Yeah, this is cool. I guess I'll just expect that every show I do from now on is at this level and this much, dude. Listener, okay, so this guy, the way that you approach, I'm really being real, and stuff that I would tell you if we're just kicking it backstage.
How much did he pay you, Bray? Be honest. How much money? How much Venmo?
Send him a little PayPal.
He paid me in cold showers.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. So, but anyway, man, the way that you mix house, because you're also a monitor engineer, the best at that as well. But I want to start on the house sound thing. Is he's like playing it like an instrument, the board. Okay. Yeah. So if you watch him mixing a live show, his arms are moving. He's orchestrating it. He's doing things rhythmically, hitting delays and things, and it's just way above what most people are going to put into it and what most people even have the ability to do. You're just so musical the way you mix, and you can tell you're in the shit. And so I was really wrecked from that first time. But the cool thing I remember too, so I wanted to compliment you and really say I remember that about you. And then the most bigger important thing was we talked all fucking night after the show.
Yeah, we did hang out.
Yeah, we hung out in the green room.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was at like the other end of the building. Yeah, and it was me, you, and Steve Moon only.
Yeah.
Where was I, bro?
I know.
What was I doing?
I know.
I'm not
Maybe
sure.
You were there. I don't remember.
Maybe we can't divulge that on this.
Yeah. Right.
Dude, you were there.
Yeah,
I
was in room 14. There aren't even that many rooms there. Yeah. No, man, but we got to know each other that night, and I just really enjoyed. To me, it felt like bonding already that early. The first time we basically met and hanging out, and so we could talk all the details and shop and stuff. And you and Steve really made me feel kind of welcome and like we just were all passionate about it and laughing a bunch and talking shit too, which is always part of it. You got to do that. So, dude, man, thank you.
Man, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's very, very kind of you. I think with that, I could just walk away now. I'm happy to go.
You can retire.
That's all we got, guys.
That's all we got. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
I was just gonna talk about like white pepper and shit, but now we're going.
I had that too. I got it too.
No, Bray, I love
white
that
because
I love that. When I met Eddie, same vibes. Like And I think I know Eddie pretty well.
Yeah.
You know the songs, man. Like whatever you're doing, that's I think the difference. Because I think people come into gigs if they're doing sound or whatever, and they go, "Yeah, man, a little EQ. You're playing guitar, a little EQ on this, a little compression, boop, boop, boop." But you're like, no, this is like the verse. This is the chorus. Here comes the guitar solo. Like so many years, you kind of ruined me too. Like I actually stopped practicing once I met Eddie because
he'll take care of it in post.
I was just like, he's gonna make it sound good.
Yeah.
There were so many shows where I was so worried, like I was like fucking up all over the place, and Eddie's like, I was fine, I was like, oh, sick. So,
Eddie, let me ask you this, dude.
For the record, I never heard you fuck up all over the place.
Yeah,
ever.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. No, that's fucking true. That's true. Unlike me. But what I want to ask him, I hope I didn't interrupt, is who did you learn from, Eddie? You know, is there someone that kind of showed you all the tricks? And because you do a lot of things that I've never seen anybody else do, and I don't know them all, but I don't even want to give away any of your secrets. But
Well, uh, I don't know if it's something that I'm always watching everybody. I'm mostly
mm,
watching and listening, like Jeff said, the music, right?
mm,
I mean, I've always been inspired by different people and engineers and records that I've liked. Of course,
yeah,
Bob Mountain and,
yeah,
you know,
oh yeah,
Jeff's favorite CLA,
yeah, oh yeah,
all
Come
these different,
on.
come on. But no, just in general, just listening to music, because to me, that's where it's all at, right? It's not,
yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are not going to care if I go, well, your guitar, 5K, this, it doesn't matter if it doesn't sound good at the end of the day. Like,
yeah,
it's about balance. It's about learning the music. It's about knowing it well. And honestly, I think the part that I enjoy the most is, it doesn't matter if I only have three microphones to work with, or is this a band, it's a cover band, or is, a big artist or anything. To me, I always give the same effort. And I try to do that, tell that or show that to, you know, people I mentor, whether it's
yeah,
kids at a high school or if I do like some kind of clinic or something with
hmm,
professionals, that they also ask me that kind of question. I'm like, you know what? Don't phone it in ever.
yeah, mm,
No matter
mm,
if you're mixing at a bar or if I'm helping the high school kids do a musical. If I'm doing that, to me, I'm in Broadway now. I don't care if it's a high
yeah,
school musical. I'm treating it if I'm in Broadway, and I'm going to research and I'm going to learn if it's something I haven't done, and I'm going to try to pass it on to them. If I'm working at a bar, okay, what do we have? Well, we got this Mackie board, we got one reverb, and we got this. Okay, let's see
yeah,
what we can do, right? And I've always had that mentality, you know, of giving your best every time, no matter what, and learning the music, right? Because that's the challenge too. Like, if you phone it in, no matter what stage in your career you are, you're never gonna do well. I think
right,
eventually people will find out, and
yeah,
you gotta love it. Just like you guys, right? The love of music for me is the love of mixing, right? So I
It's
I just
amazing,
love it.
dude. Yeah, I mean that's your thing, dude, is you care, like, and being around playing with you. I always know when I'm playing with Eddie that he's listening. Someone's
yeah,
listening. And I think
right,
that's where people fall into these cracks of like, it's just a gig, man. And then you start to kind of sound like shit, and you like kind of fall into like where it's just like, oh, just another gig. Here's a gig. And then it kind of
well, it's
sounds
Yeah.
all,
missing the fire,
and
like what
so
you talked
it's,
about with
yeah, where it's like
football
if
thing. You're
you,
missing the fire.
yeah, yeah. If you know that people are listening and you're gonna hear some feedback, and especially positive feedback too, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing, like Eddie's gonna like this because I know you're listening. It's like
Yeah.
it sucks when you're playing music and you feel like no one's listening. Especially on your team is what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Yeah,
no, you
like
gotta care, and if you
yeah,
care, it could work. It could go either way, right? If something's happening that is not working for the song, and I've been guilty to a fault sometimes with that, where I will bring up something. Hey, you know what? This is too much. Like
yeah,
this overplaying or whatever, it doesn't
yeah, yeah,
shine anymore because you constantly doing it. Now you
hmm,
don't shine on that one particular show anymore because you're shining on every song. Don't do that on every song, and then when you do it, that third, fourth song is gonna stick out, right?
yeah,
And every now and then, if a band or an artist gives me that liberty, which I'm very fortunate that a lot of them do, or you have
yeah,
to earn it with time, then
yeah,
I'll bring it up. Hey, this thing that we're doing here, or they'll ask me, how did this sound? I'm like, well, this sounded really well. This part could be a little better, or maybe don't do this part, but do that. And
hmm.
and you might think, but that's not sound related, but it kind of
No, but
is.
you have the
Be-
vantage point that no one in the band has. And that's why I ask our engineer Mark Milborn a lot of those
Mhm.
same questions. And he's over the years earned my trust. He's still an idiot. But he's totally learned
oh, he didn't send you the Venmo. I see.
he didn't get it, hasn't come through yet.
so
Uh,
there was
Pending.
no one to to mentor you then coming up, huh?
well, my dad, I would say my dad definitely mentored me at the beginning because he's a musician, and we had a studio gear at home. We had, a live venue where kind of I started when I was,
Yeah.
really
Where was
young.
that?
That was in Lima, Peru, actually.
Awesome.
We had a venue there, and there was always like 3 or 4 different artists playing at the time, and I would just help him. He was the musical director, he was the house band, so I would just help him with that. Later, when I was here in the States, there was a club uh, in Berkeley called the Berkeley Square.
Oh yeah.
And there was this good friend of mine named Joe Tanasio, and he kind of mentored me too when it came to really like digging into the math of audio, right? Really understanding what's going on. He was a great engineer too, and so yeah. I mean, but I will say, you know, a lot of it is always reading. Reading a lot of other people's experiences. At the time, we didn't have YouTube or
right.
Magazine. There were magazines and books and stuff, but no YouTube or anything you can see online. So I will rely on that. I will read about famous engineers' experiences and how they approach it, and I will make my own thing out of it. Like, because not everybody thinks the same way. Not everybody approaches it the same way. But I would always grab the good things that I thought other people were doing and be like, you know what, I like that. I'm kind of making my own, but I like that.
Yeah, man. So Eddie, you told me before. Let's do a kind of a fast track green room cliff notes of your trajectory, because you've done some amazing things that people don't maybe know or don't know about. So you're in Peru, working in the nightclubs. I remember you telling me you'd be in school, like reading like the manuals for like boards and shit, right?
I will buy, because we were always vacation in the States. I would always buy books, recording books, recording techniques, or live sound, whatever.
Yeah.
And I will be in school, teacher will be at the board and doing stuff, and I'll be like reading sound stuff,
Yeah. So you make your way to the States. I think you were in SoCal for a while doing jingles, right?
Yeah, I did some jingles, that was pretty fun too,
Yep.
That was a good experience.
What got you down to the Bay Area?
My brother and my cousin were already living here. And and after, I was doing the jingle thing over there, and now, just looking for something else. They said, just come over here, we'll figure it out. And, eventually we ended up in a band together with my brother and my cousin. And we did pretty well for a while. I was playing keyboards and percussion. And all at the same time sometimes. So,
he had 2 keyboards between his knees, and then he played percussion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then, so I did that for a while, and as I was doing sound, and then being in the band also got me to meet a bunch of other people in the Bay, and I started recording them and producing their records. I used to produce a lot more than now. Now I just mix, but so I started doing that, and just working with bands and producing their records, and just kind of got the name out there,
Yeah. And so somewhere along that line, I think playing in that band, isn't that kind of how you met the guys in Smash Mouth? Was that what was your first like national?
I will say before Smash Mouth there was one called Concrete Blonde. They were smaller than Smash Mouth, but it was my first my first bus tour.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was a power trio. They had one big hit, Joey, I think it was called Joey. It was like amazing singer, Janette Napolitano was her name. And I got that gig, and it was pretty cool. It was a good experience. It had his ups and downs when it came to the actual touring experience, but it was pretty fun. So I was mixing front of house, and then I also did monitors for them when the front of house guy came back years later. And then, so that was fun. And then after that, the next one was a band. I'm hearing a delay. Is that me or you guys or something?
No, I'm just
hearing like a repeat.
I'm hearing it too. Are you hearing that, Jeff?
No.
I'm hearing it too.
I don't know.
Oh, it must be. You know what? It must
Your
be
speakers
me.
are on?
No, I'm just close to my mic. Hot mic. We got a hot mic, people.
Oh,
you still hear it?
Wow. No, I only hear it with my voice, not with you guys.
You hear it now?
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's all right.
But not with your voice, Jeff. Just
after that, I got a gig with a band called Jaguares, which they were like a pretty huge band from Mexico, and we toured the U.S. as well. I was mixing monitors, and then somehow, I don't remember through who, I got a call from the tour manager Eric from Smash Mouth, and they just they asked me if I was available for some dates, and I got
Was
on
that
that. I
was
got
that a
on it.
big moment? Were you excited? Like, hey, I think
Yeah, I was
I'm
pretty
making it.
excited.
You know, one of
Yeah,
those
I was pretty
feelings.
excited. It was cool because it's funny because I was actually about to go to New York for a music conference promoting my wife's album, or at that time it was just an EP, but to try to get deals or whatever, broker something, and I get this call. We kind of had to make a decision. What do we do, right? It was you.
Yeah.
Your speaker was on, weren't you? Yeah.
Dumbass.
The whole time, Jeff,
See, guys,
We
I
were
could have not said
testing him.
anything.
This was all a
I'm
test.
This was all a test because Eddie's this big hot shot.
No, you
talking
actually
about all
needed
these things.
Eddie
I said,
at
you
your
know what? I'm gonna
house
throw a little,
handling
throw a
sound.
little wrench in here and see if he finds it. See if he could figure it out. So
I heard it from the beginning. I just was being polite. I was like,
Which is, why don't you just be real? That's not like you.
that was
No.
that was a classic. I was like, Bray, is it yours? And then I look
Yeah, I
over.
know.
I'm like monitors on like 4. Oh fuck.
yeah. I'm like, great.
Welcome to the podcast, Eddie. This is
That's right.
professional.
Me and
That's
Eddie
right, I'm going to
me and Eddie were
Smartless. I'm going to
texting each
Smartless.
other. Me and Eddie were texting each other about splintering off into our own podcast with
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
correct
this guy doesn't
audio.
know what he's doing.
Let's get this shit together. I'm sorry.
It's all right. So, yeah, so it was a big moment because I was supposed to go do this other stuff, and then we kind of had to make a decision. I mean, I should
Yeah.
jump on this because it was
Yeah.
a few months of work.
Mhm.
Although I found out after that, that the tour manager booked me to do this gig. We were playing somewhere in middle America, and then after that, we were going back to San Francisco. And his idea was, well, if this guy doesn't work out, at least he lives in San Francisco. Once we
Jump
get
him
there, he
off.
can just stay home.
Yeah.
But I worked with them for like 9 years, so that was
Wow.
kind of fun. And they were a great band. They were fun. Of course, they got all those hits. I think in many ways they were underestimated or underrated. I guess that's the right word.
Yeah, I would
Because
agree.
as a songwriting, they were great. Greg Camp, an incredible songwriter.
I
The
think
band
that
itself, you
Walking
got
on the
Michael
Sun
Urbano on drums.
is a masterpiece, really.
Yeah.
Damn,
Oh yeah.
I really do.
killer.
I really
Yeah.
do.
Oh yeah. They
Didn't-
changed that sound at that time. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking? I'm sure it's not a great news, but like, how did that affect you when the singer passed away? That wasn't that long ago.
Oh, it was
right?
hard, man. It was hard because not only were they, a big part of my life as I was, building my career, but
Yeah.
they were all super cool people, and
Yeah.
and like, I get along with everybody in management and everybody. Like, it's one of those bands that with like all bands, there's always something going on with them,
Oh, yeah.
that makes it kind of sad in the story, but.
Mhm.
But generally speaking, it was a great vibe. Everybody was really cool, and like I said, Michael Urbano was in the band at the time when I first
Yeah.
joined, and then eventually my good friend Randy joined the band, which you guys know of him. You guys play with him, or at least I know Jeff has. And then,
Yeah.
Sean plays there now. So it's a great band, and then Klooster on keys and Paul DeLisle on bass. It's a great band, and their
Are they
songs, like I said,
continuing
they're so
on?
great. Yeah, they're still
Yes.
playing. They're still
Who's
playing, and then
singing?
They got a new singer.
they got a new singer,
Yep.
Zach. I forget his last name, but he's doing really well with the band too. And
Great.
Yep.
it's a new generation of it, and it sounds really good. I saw him live maybe a couple years ago, and then and of course I've always admired, like we were saying, things that you learn from or whatever. It's Eric Valentine was the one who produced basically the first few albums.
Mm.
And
Bay
those were
Area guy, yeah.
masterpieces.
He's
Bay
a
Area
Bay
guy,
Area-
and
Yep.
yeah, and just a masterpiece. The way he produced things, and
Yeah.
and the way he make things sound, and like, to me, All Star is a masterpiece when it comes to, of course, songwriting, but mixing and production.
Yeah.
If you really pay attention to it, it's like it has all these different snares coming in the verses, the choruses, and it grows all the way to the end. But you don't really notice it unless you're paying attention. But it just makes it
Right.
grow in a way.
Which
It's a
is a good
masterpiece.
pop song.
So
Yeah.
Dude, that song, just sorry to jump in. I remember first
No,
time
yeah.
I heard All Star, I was like, I was like working for my dad on a farm, but I heard that song on the radio and I just went, that is a huge song. This is going to be
Yeah.
a huge hit. Like
Yeah.
it just was immediate. So, but Eddie, you told me a story about that song when you would mix it. you would do some of those cues, right? You would do
Yeah,
the
I always try to
snares
do
and
those.
right,
Oh, you
right?
mean?
Didn't
Yeah.
you
So
say
I was play. You mean when I was playing with him? Because I played with him
yeah?
for a little bit.
Yeah,
So
you would
so
do some of the things, right?
so basically, at some point, as they were restructuring the band, they were like, they used to have a percussionist, Mark Cervantes, and at some point, budgets kick in, and they were like, we can't have a percussionist, and we have to restructure this, do that, and whatever, and playback at the time for the band was, a D88 tape machine,
Mm-hmm.
and I helped put together and design a system with Ableton Live, and so we can have all the stuff there. But nobody, I kind of found out basically almost by showing up to the next gig that we didn't have a percussionist in a way. So uh, I'm like, well, who's gonna play all these other parts? Because the percussionist used to trigger loops and do
Right.
claps and little MIDI snares or whatever. And I was like, well, I guess I'll, because Jeff knows he's gonna laugh about this, but like, I'm like, well, we can't not have that.
Yeah.
So I set up like the SPDS pads or whatever
Mm-hmm.
next to me at
Mm-hmm.
Monitor World,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't have an LD at the time either. So, and I put a mic for like shakers and tambourines and stuff.
Damn.
So I was wearing in
So
ears,
amazing.
mixing, and I had a headset like Clearcom also calling spotlights, and I'm playing live with the band. I'm
Dang.
triggering loops and stuff
Dude,
like that part that went bum ba-da-dum ba-dum ba-dum, those string parts. I would trigger them live and everything.
Ooh.
dude,
I don't, because at the time I didn't put them on the track because I didn't think we
yeah.
needed it, but
Yeah.
eventually.
That's man.
MVP.
See, that's the thing, man. Like the amount of care you put into things is everything, dude. It's like,
And then you become indispensable, right?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know
And
about
so,
that. Nobody's indispensable, but I just
More
enjoy
so.
doing it, and I don't want to leave people hanging. Though to me, is something's
right.
missing.
Yeah.
I like to bring it up. I like to say, hey, this little part is on the record, but you're not playing that part, and I
Yeah.
feel like
Right.
it's missing. It's a crucial part on the verse,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes musicians go, "You're right, you're right, you're right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that part or whatever," and they'll appreciate it if it comes from a good place, not from a critiquing place, but
Right.
it's more like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this will sound better if maybe don't omit that part, like because that part is kind of crucial or
Yeah.
it's sort of a hook.
Any songwriter is gonna appreciate that. Like, I love
Dude,
this
Yeah,
part. I miss it. You're gonna be like, "What? You freaking remember that? That's cool."
yeah.
me and Bray talk about this a ton on this podcast about how musicians, like, we really get devalued, and music in general, we just get devalued a lot, right? And we have tough times like leveraging ourselves and like, underpaid and treated bad and this and that. And I think like you, Eddie Caipo, need to write a book on
Oh,
how, I'm serious, dude, on how you leverage yourself. But it's very clear, like, your whole thing, it comes first and foremost is just the music. Like, you're always caring about the music, and you put that attention to detail in it, and it goes from there, right? Like, you're just like, and that creates value around you, what you do, and it makes everything better. And I think musicians fall into this place, and sound guys too, where you kind of are just like, how many gigs you got this week? Oh, I got like 5. And you're just kind of looking at them like, okay, this one pays this much. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do
Checking
it.
the boxes.
I'm going to check this one off and do this one.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, dude, like, you're doing your homework. You're showing up. You're like, this is potentially the best show I'm ever going to mix, Like, and that's
like
how
that.
people need to think, and that's why you get the big gigs. That's why you've been able to do what you do, and it's all, I mean, you deserve all of it, man. It's
I
amazing.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I always feel like that if you sort of answering to partially what you were saying, it's important to know your value, right?
Right.
It's important to advocate for yourself and your peers.
Yeah.
But if you only for the right reasons, right? That's really important
Right.
to
It's not
emphasize. It's not just
It's
Go
not
ahead.
dollar signs, dude. It's not
No,
dollar
it's not
signs.
dollar
but
signs.
the dollar signs do come when you do that.
Yes.
But
If you do it for the right reasons, yeah.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is like, it's where you're coming from. You could just tell by the way you talk, and I've known you forever. It's really just about the quality, man. It's like,
Yeah.
if there was no money involved, and I was playing a song wrong, you would be like, dude, like, I know nobody's here, but like, you got to play that right. You know? Or if my tone was janky or whatever. So
like,
I mean,
go another ahead, thing we learned from, because we're talking about everything that kind of goes right now, you know, and what I would want to read about a little bit in your book, Eddie, stuff like
that's
this.
That's coming out next summer.
Yeah, no, but what we talk about too is like the worst shit.
It's gonna be in Spanish though.
The shit that doesn't work, and that's how we learn also. So, do you have any? I'll give one really short example just to kind of get you could springboard off for your own experience. But one of the worst gigs I ever did was throwing a huge event in high school, hiring all the bands, renting the theater, selling the tickets, getting all the outfits together. I did all this, and I wanted to have my own kind of like Lollapalooza with my band headlining, all this stuff. We didn't rehearse enough. So what I learned, and then so we did great and stuff, but from my perspective, I was uncomfortable, and some stuff was to the people that know near train wreck, because we did everything else except that. But I'm only just saying it to say, hey, that was a lesson I learned, and now I'm like really strict about rehearsal, and I get a little bit of complaints that I'm over rehearsing, and I always say, I've never ever in my life had a rehearsal where we didn't improve from it. So you could never say we shouldn't have done it or didn't need it.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that was one of my worst gigs, and it just made me, change my life from it.
It shaped who you are, dude.
Oh yeah, and made me a total butthole. But no, now I want to know, like, what was like some terrible gig experience that you've had that you like learned something from and changed?
He's like, never.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Everybody's had a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of one specifically though, because we all like every gig. There's something that we're gonna learn from, right?
Yeah,
and it's.
How about? Can I just throw one?
Yes, please help me out because I'm trying to remember something.
I don't even know what happened. How about that gig
in
Gibraltar when the soundboard shut down?
I thought you were going to say Costa Rica, but yeah, Gibraltar will be good.
Yeah, when we lost sound.
Yes, so Gibraltar, that's a good one. I think basically I've only had two train wrecks like that, but it's been not by anybody's wrongdoing necessarily. Right. It's just gear, so we were doing this gig in Gibraltar, and the gear was coming actually from a very reputable company, and of course we'll keep names out of this, but coming from a reputable company in Europe. So it wasn't like, we're in some country that doesn't have the gear. No, this gear was flown to
Tascam.
Yeah, Tascam, Mackie. No, so basically, so they brought in everything, and everything was up to par, and everything. It was great. And then all of a sudden, actually, it happened right before the show. I started hearing Enrique. In this case, it was an Enrique show. He's talking to me right before as the intro's going, and all of a sudden, I hear like his reverb went away, and he's like, "Hey, my reverb's gone." I was like, "You're right. What's going on?" And basically, everything started shutting down. All the DSP started shutting down, and I immediately, called Brad on the talkback. I go, "Hey, keep playing music or house music." Even though we were playing our last song before the intro rolls, I said, just keep playing. And I tell, of course, the artist and everybody, I'm going to reboot. And I rebooted, and we're back. Okay, we're good. Yes, we're good. And we rolled, right? And I will say, 2/3 into the show, we were kind of getting towards the end in a way, right?
It was
2/3 into it or something. It happened again.
It completely shut down when we were going to do the encore. We were going to do the encore.
Oh yeah, that was the end of that. Yeah, and they wouldn't boot up anymore.
And so it was everyone's going, yay, and they're like, you got to do another song. And we're just sitting there and we're like, we don't have sound. Yeah. Like, you got to do another song.
First it started shutting down again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And it was kind of during the encore. So we were like, okay, people don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can just go talk to the audience or whatever, right? Yeah, just go talk to them. Because he was over here, like, what's going on? I was like, I can't fix it if you're talking to me, so you have to kind of go out there and
so just sorry to cut you off. Just so people
No,
know, the front of house is fine. Everybody can hear fine.
Oh,
but what all of us hear is fucked. It's totally
Yeah,
gone.
everything went away. All the processing went away,
and so the problem is, you say, well, why don't you just play? We can't hear anything. All we can hear is echo, like gnarly echo. So what we did, just go out to the C stage and play Hero acoustic.
Yeah,
so we
I knew you were going to say that.
At the end of the runway, that was on the B stage. Yeah, you played at the B stage, just sat down or whatever.
The end of the runway. And so we have our percussionist, my ears out. All I hear is like a 2-second delay. 2-second delay. And Jamar, our percussionist, goes, just play it rubato and just follow me. And I was like, okay. And I was pretty new here too. And so I played Hero. So
Just
I would
play
go
rubato.
I would go gong ging gong, and it sounded to me like this. It went gong ging gong ging gong ging gong ging gong. And so it ended
sort of
up
like
being
the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, kind of like maybe it was Jeff doing this all along.
Yeah, that's his style.
I'm the little hamster in there just chewing all the wires and shit. So anyways, we got through it, and it actually was a very cool moment. But I remember Joe, our bass player, he goes, man, Sabru, you're playing Hero at about 30 BPM. Dude, it was like, I can be your hero.
It was really slow.
Baby.
But you know what?
I'll
but
be
the
your
thing is,
hero
nobody
in 3
knew
years.
at the time, like, because there were no announcements made or nothing. Like, Enrique didn't make an announcement, so the audience didn't really know. They thought it was a moment.
It was a nice moment.
Nice.
And the problem is, the board wouldn't boot up. Eventually, it booted
came
up.
Back. It came back mid-song.
It came back as they were, but at that point, nobody was using that necessarily. But as they're walking off stage, they tell Enrique, hey, we're back on if you want to finish. Because he was saying, like, this is it, good night. And so he came back to do 2, right? And then during Bailando, it was like, again, luckily, right at the sing-along part, the thing went down again, right when the people are singing along the part. All of a sudden, it went down again, right at that part. And then after that was it.
That was so fucked up. And it was not your fault, but I do remember a hilarious quote by our super sarcastic asshole other guitar player. We're driving back to the hotel, and my buddy Alex, who's the most sarcastic, cynical motherfucker,
he's the best.
He goes, so Eddie, now that you guys are all fired, what are you guys gonna do next?
Nice.
No, that wasn't your fault though, and that was turned into. I mean, that's just how this goes, man. Things
it turned
fall
into
apart.
something, but things break and you know, it happens. I guess that was a good catastrophe story. You know, things happen.
And I think what we learned too is like you're adapting and you're ready.
Dude.
And, you know, the more rehearsed you are, I'll go back to my thing is you can just, hey, let's do it this way. Like the show that I was describing, I would, you know, end songs a little bit and tighten up the arrangement if it wasn't working as well, or, you know, cut a song or this or that. But I think that's a good lesson. And you ended up getting a really intimate moment out of it. It sounds
actually that's actually true. There's a positive out of it. That was a moment that nobody usually sees in that show. That song gets played differently.
That's cool as well.
I'll remember that one for a long time.
Forever,
So
Eddie, me too. I was traumatized by that, you know. But going with the rehearsal thing you're saying, I think there's never enough of that. I think it's good to rehearse. There are situations, and I won't get into it as far as some rehearsals could be sometimes a waste of time.
Yeah,
but I won't get into details. I'll get into details. I think Jeff laughing is plenty, but I think rehearsing is good because I feel like you got to hold people to higher standards. Like I hold myself to very high standards, and by nature, then I'm holding others by high standards. To high standards, and some people don't like it. And they think, well, this guy's a jerk, he's an ass or whatever. You know, I'm like, no. If I work my ass off to do this for you, why are you going to phone it in, right? Don't phone it in if I'm not phoning it in. Right? Yeah. So that's
and you're only as good as the weakest link anyway, right?
That's right.
And me and Bray both have experienced life with Eddie and life without Eddie.
Yeah.
And when it's gone, everybody around is going like, "Damn, dude." You
Damn,
know,
we
like,
sound like shit.
yeah. Now I gotta.
No, you guys are too kind, man. You guys are too kind.
Now I have to actually learn my parts and play the right tones. So Eddie, we don't need to take too much of your time. And your career has gone beyond, I mean, just some of the artists, Christina Aguilera, Gwen Stefani, freaking Scott Weiland, right? What was that?
No, not him. No, not him. Unfortunately,
was
no. But I did.
I thought he was part of the Kings of Chaos.
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
No,
shit,
he was
okay.
the band. His band, Velvet Revolver, was.
That's not as cool. Okay, we gotta go, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
It was
Still
cool
got Slash.
because it was Guns
Slash.
N' Roses,
It was Slash.
Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver,
Yeah.
and then a lineup of famous singers. You know, Joe Elliott, Ed Roland,
Yeah.
Miles Kennedy, Glenn Hughes. So it was pretty cool, and they played
Yeah.
Velvet songs, Guns songs. So pretty cool.
So sick. I mean, your resume is insane. We could talk forever on
Patrito
it. But,
Patrito is in there too.
Eddie mixes my music, you know, and dude, I'm
Yeah.
thankful for that. And he gives me I pay him
The
way
Razor.
too less. I don't pay him enough money.
Let me
But,
ask.
Eraser, dude. What a great song.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. But so okay, wait. We have to get this. This is very poignant subject right now. The Super Bowl just happened. Bad Bunny, Eddie. Bad Bunny, Eddie. Bad Bunny.
I know.
Give us your
what
true
do you
thoughts.
think? Where are you at? Where are you at with Bad Bunny?
It's funny because those who are going to be listening to this or watching this and know me, you know, I've always had a thing with Bad Bunny that I wasn't crazy about. I don't know, his voice maybe or whatever, but the reality, the truth is, he is sort of revolutionizing the industry, and the show that he did, the way he represented our culture, his specific culture as well, but Latino culture in general, and the weight that he had to have on him with all the haters, basically. Because I don't really hate on him. I'm just not a fan of his. Right? I don't listen to his music, but he did really well. I thought the halftime was. I actually watched it with the family. I was actually working on Sunday, but then I recorded it, so I watched it later with the family, and we're all, you know, it was really cool, exciting. But then I was like, when everybody was in bed, I was like, let me watch it again because I want to see if I miss any of the nuance. Right?
Did it make you feel emotional?
In some ways, yeah, and in some ways of like. Again, he stood up. He was advocating for something. He didn't really get specifically political, but it was all in the message. It was all in the production. It was all in there. It was all in front of us without being in your face, right? It was, if you're watching and listening, it was all there, right?
Exactly.
And I thought that was pretty cool. I always have this debate with this friend of mine who's a great front of house mixer, Latino. He's Colombian, of Colombian descent, and we always poke at each other with this whole Bad Bunny thing because he's way younger than me. So obviously Bad Bunny's from his generation, and I'm like, maybe I don't get it. And we just poke at each other, right? About he's the greatest thing that ever happened. But you know, in reality is, and I spoke to him yesterday too about this. It was pretty cool what he did at the Super Bowl was really cool. You can argue that whether people like him or not, or was it the best Super Bowl ever? Was it the best performance ever? That's really a personal choice because for me, obviously, the Prince performance was really good. You know, but you know, you could argue, you could just,
Bray just sent you a Venmo. Bray sent you a Venmo just now.
Well, that was but we were talking a little before it too, and I was just saying that was almost a mistake I made was at first comparing it to that. And it's a totally
no, because they're different. They're completely different.
Totally
different times also different. You know, culturally different time. So to me, just to summarize it, I will say it was really freaking good. You know, his performance, the idea that the storyline that was built into it, the production was really good. You know, Ricky Martin was there too, which was cool, and we worked with him. You know, he's a great person, and the lyrics of those songs, which if you get the translation, then you know, check it out. It's pretty cool. The fact that it was done all in Spanish, I think that's also a pretty cool thing. Even though there's been a lot of haters.
There's a lot of haters.
You know, Yeah, I can't believe that people on TV like Megan Kelly. I won't mention too much of it, but like she went on this rant about
Dude.
Latinos. This is not a Latino show. It's
Dude,
like I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know?
I love Bad Bunny's response to that too. He's
Oh, I
like,
haven't seen that. What did he say?
he's like, "Mommy, your playlist is probably all Latin." Like,
Yeah,
you don't know what
yeah,
you're talking about. Like,
yeah. It's true. I mean, like it's true. They portray this thing that all American, but all American is a mix of everything, right? And
Right.
and
yeah,
Exactly.
and that's the part that they're missing out on, and that's the part that Bad Bunny presented, right? He's like,
yeah,
look, this is when he said, I think he said, "God bless America," and then he started mentioning all the countries in America
Yeah. The
because
whole America. Yeah.
the whole America, because a lot of people tend to say, "Oh, I'm from America," when you're from the United States, and it's like, well, not really,
Right.
because
Right.
we're all American. There's all this,
Yeah.
but they don't see it that way. Unfortunately, they don't even teach it that way in school here,
I
and,
know,
and
man.
but America is all of it.
Mhm.
The United States is just one part of it.
Right.
yep, yeah, yeah. It was a beautiful thing, man.
I thought it
So
was really well done. So
yeah, so let's one question. El
yeah,
Brujo. I don't even know what that means. What's El Brujo mean?
It's his
El Brujo
nickname,
means,
listener.
yeah, it's like a sorcerer or like a male, because in Spanish,
What?
like in Spanish,
I thought it meant
there's
male dancer.
yeah, male strip dancer. That's my name at night. No,
Yeah.
you know how in Spanish there's genders and words, right? So
Yeah,
bruja is a witch,
Bruja.
so
Yeah.
it's a male version of that, right? So
Okay.
I guess it'll be a sorcerer or some kind
Yeah.
of warlock.
I
But I
love it.
wasn't. It wasn't self-appointed, by the way. So,
Okay, good.
the singer of that band that I mentioned earlier, our band here in the Bay, uh, he gave it to me because they used to play in these really shitty bars and clubs and whatever, and now I started as their sound guy. I wasn't playing in the band yet, and I used to somehow manage to make that bar sound good or better than anybody else
Yeah.
at those bars, to a
Yeah.
point that even the bar owners will be like, "Hey, how did you get my PA to sound like that? You want to work here on Thursdays and Fridays or whatever?" I'm like,
For
"Yeah."
$50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. At the
Yeah.
time, that's what it was, or for drink tickets or whatever it was.
Sure.
But I wanted to do it at the time. I wanted to pursue that career, so I was like, I'll do it. I used to even have people, fly me to. Well, we can't afford you. We can't take you this. I'm like, listen, just get me there,
Yeah.
and give me a place to sleep or something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll go mix you. And I
Give me
wanted
some
to get the
white
name out
pepper.
there.
We're good. Yeah.
Give me some white pepper, get some Thai food. I'm good.
Oh, there's too much to talk about,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
One more question, and then we'll get to our yar and R, and we could all get the hell out of here.
Okay.
Did Clank just come from? You just started saying Clank because don't you have a plugin setting that's Clank? Clank.
Probably.
Eddie always says Clank. He always
I
says
didn't know.
Clank.
I didn't know you were the originator of that. I thought it was Steve Boone.
No, hell no.
Oh, he's so mad at you
Yeah.
right now.
Can you give me the Jamie face?
I think he's taking enough credit for stuff of mine. Okay,
I bet.
he's not taking Clank.
Well,
No,
You'll never take my Clank.
never take my Clank away. No, I mean it was just like Jeff said, it's just a thing that I started saying, like, oh, I was
Clank.
doing this and I fell down, Clank, or I hit the button, Clank.
everything's clank. I love that.
Everything was Clank, and then it stuck.
Don't you have a setting on a plugin that's called Clank? Is that
I believe
real?
so. I just don't remember.
You don't even know?
Which one it was, because
Oh,
I've been very lucky to do presets for different plugins, and it might be, I don't know, actually. I don't want to say which one. It might
Okay.
be in one of the ones in Waves plugins, but
yeah.
I'll have to
All
go
right.
look now. But I did
the
have
last
one.
thing. The last
Right.
thing is Jamie Brown
Oh yeah, you got to get
does
this.
an
Jamie
impression of you when he's like says something like, good thing I thought of it. And he does that. Does that ring a bell?
It's usually when you
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
and
I
it's
wanted to
usually
see you do it.
isn't it usually accompanied by like don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But don't worry about it. I can't take credit for that. That is actually from Klooster, keyboard player Michael Klooster from Smash
Oh.
Mouth. That don't worry about
Nice.
it came from him, and I did spread it worldwide, but that's his.
It
All
became
I
a
won't
right.
take
hit.
credit for that.
It became
Yeah.
a hit.
Yeah,
And you have
but
many
that
more.
Jamie Brown thing. He remembers that. That's kind of cool. I love Jamie. He's awesome.
Oh, dude, so funny.
There's so many more. I think we're getting over on time. Let's do our little segment of Yar Nars, where we basically, if you're familiar, we say some subject and you either yar it, you like it, or you nar it down.
Thumbs down,
So we got Jason Muscat. Jason Muscat wrote in, and he gave us one just straight up Yar Nar Super Bowl commercials. Yar Nar.
You can give it a yar, man. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're amazing. It's an easy yar.
I think they're great.
Easy yar.
Yeah. That's an easy yar.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite this year was the Ben Stiller, Benson Boone one.
Yeah, that was fun.
And actually, if you look up the full edit on YouTube, it's even funnier because it goes way deeper. It's like 2 minutes long. It's amazing. So yeah, that's a triple yar on that. Bray, you have any other ones?
I got a yar nar, and I like to get Eddie's take on this. I'm going to leave it open-ended on purpose, but yar nar, changing guitars during the show.
I will say yar.
Yeah, good one.
Okay,
I think that's a good one. I think it's a yar. Really?
I think if you have a specific, like, really reason, and it's going to go to acoustic or something that's, to me, like a more
a lot of times it's for tuning reasons. They just hand over a guitar that is tuned differently, right?
All right, now that's cool.
You can attest to that.
I guess I have experience a lot of times with guitar players that basically just want to use another guitar.
Yes.
It's not for tuning.
Yeah, that's a different reason.
But
it bothers me
because
everyone has everyone has their mix in their ear set for a certain thing, or the house, and you're going from a Strat to a SG. And now it's just like totally caustic and different. And also, a lot of times, unless you have a tech running out there, this is probably for more mid-level type shows, but it's totally distracting. Yeah. And I will need to go out and talk as you were having Enrique do to kind of fill the space and, don't look over there behind the curtain. We're going to do this. And so I often will kind of MC or tell a joke or do something else while that's happening. And I think it can impede the momentum of a show.
It should be justified. It should be justified whether it's a particular guitar tone needed for that song or for that segment of songs.
Yeah.
It could be a tuning thing.
I'm cool with that. That's
cool. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of band or artist that you're working with, because if they need it for a particular sound. But here's where the homework comes in, right? Where this is where you hold that particular guitar player or bass player, whoever's making the change, to a higher standard, which is, okay, that's cool. You want to switch guitars? Fine. Make sure all your patches are adequately level and adjusted, and like they're not like up and down, because it does, especially if you're in a band that doesn't have a monitor engineer, and you guys are kind of running it yourself with a board or whatever, an iPad, then if the level changes, now you're going to be distracted because you got to turn around and move your levels, or you're going to find someone's attention to, like, hey, turn that guitar down now. Yeah. So if it's affecting the show that way, I will gnar it. But if they do their homework and it's done right, at any level of mid level, high level, whatever, then it's cool. I think if it's needed,
if it's orchestrated right, because
if it's orchestrated and if it's needed, and it doesn't affect the flow of the show. A lot of artists also think of the, okay, in this group of 3 or 4 songs, I'm going to use this guitar. So when you make a change, you get to keep it on for a few instead of every song, right? So it depends, I guess.
Yeah. So what you're saying is me changing my guitar because it's yellow is not a good reason.
It could be. If we're going to the yellow section, everything's totally yellow.
If it's the yellow section,
No, dude,
you guys get what I mean. It's just as long as it keeps the flow.
I'm someone that if I have the tones I like, I could even have another guitar behind me that's ready to go. I won't change just because
it's in its
like
happy
where
place.
I'm at. I don't want it to change the tones. I did this last week. I was playing the Five for Fighting thing, and I was going to use another guitar, but we ended up having to tune down, so I used the other one that tunes better. And I planned on changing, and I was like, actually, that other guitar would sound good for this song, but I don't want to go back and forth. So I
couldn't because he was changing pianos at that time. So then what were you gonna?
They're rolling in another grand piano.
Yeah. Actually,
This
it was
is
the
the
thing.
yellow piano part of the show.
Yeah. They actually did have to. He changed to playing a Nord as opposed. He usually plays a big piano, but his voice was feeling weird, so we moved down. But yeah, I'm good. That's a good one, Bray. I like that. Cool. All right. So what did I say? Yar it? I don't know what I said.
No, it was just a discussion. It was a discussion thing.
I'm gonna yar it if it's not for my reason of being a different color. Eddie, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother, so
You're
much.
a freaking legend, and I'll see you soon. Hopefully, I live 2 seconds from you, but we never.
I'll
see
you
each
somewhere
other,
in the Middle East or somewhere like.
Exactly.
We live so close, and we see each other. You know, we got to travel 20-something hours to see each other. It's crazy.
Pretty much. All
Let's
right,
go to
y'all.
lunch after this.
I know, man.
All right.
Yeah, let me tag along for that. Let's go. Let's get lunch, you guys.
Let's do it. Thank you, guys.
So
I
much.
really appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Much love.
See you.
You're legend.
Much love to you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Later.
Do I stop this or do I leave from
here? You can stop. I'm gonna log all of you off later.
Later.